Okay, so the way I've approached this now is I've treated the existing audio material that's been recorded as a track, and I've tried to mix that as well as I can to begin with before I add any additional instrumentation. So on the this is a grouped vocal track, so this is for the ad-libs, the vocals, and the main vocal, everything. I've put this EQ on because it was quite boomy initially, and I felt like there was a lot of the room had a strange sort of resonant frequency that I felt like I needed to adjust. So now the vocals on their own sound a little bit more like this.
From the day I met you, I knew you were the one for me. From the day I found you, girl, I knew I had to set you free.
So that was quite difficult to do actually, because it was hard to sort of work out at what point to take the bass out. There isn't really anything lower than this, but I didn't want to take the bass out so much that the low end of the vocal wasn't there. So actually, keeping with the main vocal, I also gated it because there's a little bit of noise at the beginning. And that's just a really, really low gate. That's just to get rid of anything. Sort of just the noise floor in between these silent bits. I didn't want it to have any effect on the noise of his breathing or, you know, like just little noises going on in the background. So there are still a few small noises going on in the background, like the squeak of a chair and things. The way I'm going to fix that is I'm going to take a microphone with me and I'm going to record some outdoor noises, hopefully somewhere that isn't windy. And I'm just going to try and get something that I can put over the top of the entire track so that I can obviously, I'd say cover up, but not really, because I want it to have that sort of ambience, but I don't want it to be a small room ambience. I want it to be an outdoor sort of ambience. Continuing with that, I actually took the section here with the, if you remember me saying it had the F missing from it. So I've taken the F and I've copied it twice and dragged it over. So now it actually sounds like he's saying from rather than rom.
From the day I met you, I knew.
So that was relatively simple to do. All I did was I chopped out this section and blended it in, and then obviously
Day I met you, day I met you.
as soon as he comes in with the word day, we've got the other vocal. And that happens twice. I've also changed this. There was a little click on the mic. I've just simply faded it.
You are my...
So it just comes in on you. That's the only real circumstance where I needed to do that, because any other sort of unwanted noise in the background is happening during the vocals. So there's nothing I can do to remove it unless I go through Premiere, what was it called now? The audio fixing software that you showed us. But I don't really want to start taking out sound and creating like unwanted distortion. So I'm just gonna mask it rather than remove it, because I think it'll sound better that way, more natural. And Barrett, who recorded this, the initial mix I did for him years ago, he didn't like, because he said it sounded digital, which I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean, but I think what he's telling me is he wants a more natural sound. Continuing with that, I've got the ad-libs. So here I've just done 2 phases of compression, pretty light to be honest with you. It didn't take a lot. You can see here there's quite a big difference in dynamic range, but actually there's not that much for the compressors to do because I've done it with volume automation. So if I jump from one section to another, let's just solo the ad-libs.
You are my, you are my, you are my, you are my, you are my.
So that's that. That's just a little bit of processing that I did on that. Obviously the vocal has the EQ over the whole thing. So the ad-libs and the main vocal are all treated together in that respect. The guitar took quite a little bit more. Here I have done the same gate pretty much as I did with the vocal. Obviously the guitar was a little bit louder and there wasn't really that much just above the noise floor that I needed to save, so I've lifted it a little bit. 2 phases of compression again, but this one is a little bit harsher. So we've got 3 dB of compression at minus 12 dB. And then here we have just a really slow, gentle roll off. This was more of a cut further down, but there was quite a lot of sort of 100, 200, 300 hertz that sounded a bit too much, so I've just gently sweeped it and dragged this out, so the bass now goes lower, but there's less of it further up around here. So let's give you an example of the guitar. And again, I've used some volume automation. This is at the end where it goes quiet. So I like the way that works because the level stays very much the same. It's maybe a little bit quieter at that bit, but you can still tell that it's being played more gently. So it's still softer, even if it's actually the same level. For some reason that automation's not going off. There we go. And then here I've added, so this is something I'm kind of struggling with at the moment. I added a delay to it.